Hi, fourth graders. I hope you're staying well. Today, I'm going to do a lesson on science, and the topic is light. So before we started having our distance learning, we've been learning about light in class, and we briefly talked about luminous objects and non-luminous objects, but today I just decided to go over this once again. So hopefully by the end of this lesson, you feel more comfortable with luminous objects and non-luminous objects. So let's get started. Here I have many different pictures of luminous objects. So before I go on and then talk about each item, why don't we go over the definition for luminous objects first? So what is a luminous object? So luminous object is any objects that can give out light on its own. So let's look at the examples now. Here I have the very first picture that I've included is the sun, which is the major light source for the earth. The second one is the lightning. Third one is, I'm not sure what this picture is. However, I just included because I wanted to give you an example of a luminous object that can glow in the dark. Next one is the flashlight and stars and fireflies and computer, fire, the table lamp, candle, and smartphones. So all of the picture or all of the items here all are the examples of luminous objects. So something that can give out light on its own. Now I'm going to talk about two groups for the luminous objects. First one is natural luminous objects. Another one is man-made luminous objects. So the difference between the two is that natural luminous objects can give out light without any power source, whereas man-made luminous objects need some kind of power source like a battery or a power cable in order to give out the light. So let's go over the natural luminous objects. The first example is the fire, the sun, the lightning, and fireflies and candle. So natural luminous objects they can be found in natural environments. And man-made luminous objects are computer, the sign, which is the neon sign, the table lamp, and flashlight. So through this slide, I just want you to understand the difference between natural and man-made luminous objects. Next, now let's go on and talk about non-luminous objects. So any objects that cannot give out a light on its own. So let's look at some of the examples. Clock, sofa, or couch, and a lamp. So some of you might wonder, oh, Ms. Kang, isn't the lamp a luminous object? It is a luminous object, but the reason why I included this here is because when it's powered off, when there is no power source or when there is no battery, then it's no longer a luminous object. It's now becoming non-luminous objects. So let's move on to another example, which is the chair, the table. Another thing that I want to mention for this item is that because it's made out of glass, sometimes it's glossy and shiny, but just because it's glossy and shiny, that does not mean that this is a luminous object. It's not luminous. Next one is the wooden table, a sink, a toilet paper, a coffee pot, oven, and fan. So all of them here are the examples of non-luminous objects. So now here I have included a picture of a living room, and let's do some I Spy game. Here I'm going to give you a little time to identify both luminous and non-luminous objects on your own. So let's begin with luminous objects. The first thing that I identified is the TV here. And we have many lamps. So here is one lamp, another lamp. Here's a big stand lamp. And we also have a big light up on the ceiling. And obviously there is the sun behind the window, but that's all I can identify for luminous objects. Am I missing anything? If not, then let's move on to non-luminous objects. I personally find it easier to identify non-luminous objects. And the first one I found is the table, the stool, the mat, the couch, the blanket, and cushion, and obviously the books over here, and the curtains, and we have so many here. So now I'm going to move on to the homework section. For the homework, I want you to list 10 different luminous objects and 10 different non-luminous objects. And I have included the table here. So let me give you some examples. Obviously, I'm not going to give you all 10 examples. So the first one for luminous objects is the sun. And fireflies. And the candle. What about non-luminous objects? Eraser, chopstick, and blanket. I have a spelling mistake here. Okay. Now let's move on to the bottom section. So once you're done completing all 10 objects per table, I want you to go down and then write down the definition for each term. And now let's talk about transparent, opaque, and translucent items. So we have also briefly talked about this in class, but let's review. Transparent is any object that can let light to pass through. So another word for transparent is clear or see-through. Let's look at the examples here. Water is an example of transparent objects. Window, fish tank, and a clear plastic cup. Then let's move on to opaque. Opaque is a complete opposite to transparent. It's any object that does not allow the light to pass through. So the examples are milk or ball. This is a billboard ball, and mug cup, a diced banana, and not clear plastic cup. And let's move on to translucent. Translucent is slightly trickier than the other two. It's because it's exactly in between the transparent and opaque. So we usually called it foggy, anything that's a little foggy-ish or a little unclear, but still it lets some light to pass through. So let's look at the example. We have a ball. As you can see, this is not completely colored and it's not completely transparent, so it's in between of the two. Next one is, well, let's call it just iced tea. It's not as clear as the water, but it's not as dark as milk. So these are the examples for the translucent objects. So for the homework, I want you to complete the table. First one is transparent. So I want you to write down any items that are transparent. So I have included some examples here. Ready? Window, glass, Ziploc bag, and opaque, I wrote a block because it's blocking the light. And the examples that I wrote are clothes, wooden table, and sofa. And the last column is translucent. I wrote it foggy because it's a little foggy, so it's not clear, but it's still letting some kind of light or some light to pass through. So the examples are cloud, ice, and plastic bottle. Once you're done with this, I want you to do the true and false question. And once you're done, then that's it for your science homework today. So fifth graders, I hope you feel more comfortable doing the homework for today, but please remember that you need to complete your homework on a daily basis. So please, if you're not sure, you may watch this video once again, or you may email me or talk to me on our class website. So it has, yes. So I really hope you stay safe and healthy. And I just wanted to tell you that I miss you a lot. Then bye-bye. This is it.